also just talk through first aid kit will be underneath the tent on the beach. The location of that will be shared in Dino in a moment, in terms of where the tent's going to be. There'll be a rescue board as well, which is basically just a Fanatic all-wave stand-up paddle board, but we have to have it for insurance purposes, so that's available if anyone needs it for any reason. I'd like to also thank George. George has very kindly taken up the role of local advisor, just to give us the guidance on where he thinks the good spots are. He knows all the local beaches, and he's a bit of a fanatic with tracking the weather as well, which is great. I appreciate you already helping us out, George. Really keen to keep the vibe Aloha, I think Simeon calls it. So we've introduced some new rules this year, just to keep it all online. You would have seen. Did everyone get a text last night? In fact, anyone not get a text last night informing you of this meeting? Okay, so in there was a link to the rules and the guidelines for the event. One of the things we're really keen is to give the head judge and the assistant head judge space, and that none of us try and influence them. And we just no inference questions, and we just let them make their decisions and stick with their decisions. It's really critical for us all to respect that, okay? And we're introducing a tiered set of consequences. The first is you'll get a warning if we see you do it once. You'll be called by any member of the committee. If you do it twice, then you'll get your best wave. You'll lose 1 point off your best wave. If you do it 3 times, you'll be asked to leave the competition, and we'll refund your funding as well. Okay. So I know it's quite strict, but we're really keen just to keep the good vibe of the comp. So 3 strikes. That's on and off, yeah. T-shirts been organised by Finno. Those will be arriving later in the week, so the presentation at the end, you should at least have the T-shirts by then. This is a IWT affiliated event, and it is a 2-star event. So Simeon's going to be here a little bit later, and he's very kindly shared his formats with us, as well as given us all of the access to his electronic online scoring system, judging system. So you'll get full access to that as well. Those are the main things. I've got a few other things to talk to you in a moment, but Dino's going to just talk to you about today, timings of the event. Over to you, Dino.
All right. Welcome, everyone. What you see is what you're getting out there. The forecast is to be very windy, and the swell to increase. It's dropped from yesterday, but as the tide drops, hopefully we'll get a little bit more push in. It is northeast swell, so for that reason I'm going to move down 2 tracks to track 4, 5 and see how we go down there. Problem with that later on, the wind will swing around more cross off and you'll get holes there, so we'll just keep an eye on how that's going to progress. We may move back up to here, and there was thought that we may hold heats later on, and it's only a thought, on the bommy if it's breaking. It is a bit of a logistical nightmare to get everyone sort of set up out there for judging off the point and getting people in and out for their heats. But we'll keep that in mind if there's a chance out there. So we're looking just after 10 now. We need to be down there at 11 just to make sure. We may make a start at 11. The wind's already in out there, but we'll make that call at about 11 o'clock. We'll have another briefing, yep. And then we'll decide where we're going to go from there. Just with the flag system, for the people that are not familiar with it, we've got greens go, red is the end of the heat, and then if we do extend the heat, you'll see this orange-yellow flag come up. It'll go another 5 minutes.
And that orange and yellow will come underneath the green flag. So if you're out there like and suddenly that goes up, you know that there's an additional 5 minutes on your heat, yeah?
So, in saying that, if the heat's looking gone 10 minutes into the heat and there's no one's caught a wave, or you've got everyone sinking in the water trying to water start after a couple of minutes, we'll call that heat off, cancel. You'll see the red flag go up. So most of the time your heats, so you'll look there, if you see the red flag up, heat's cancelled. So come back in and then we'll advise what we're going to do for rescheduling. We're going to use electronic scoring. I'm just waiting for Simeon to come down. He's going to give us a few pointers on that. I'm not too familiar. We have got a backup. We have got judges' sheets. So if we have any issues with that, we'll go straight over to the paper and we can fill in the electronic score sheets and continue on once we get that sorted out if that arises. Don't sail into the competition area. You're going to get penalised. So we want to try and keep out of the area. We will assign an area where we're going to be judging from, and I'll go through that at the 11 a.m. Next briefing.
So in terms of the penalty, it's on the website, that link you sent. Actually, what happens if you do sail in the sailing area when you're not actually competing?
Try and be aware where you are with that. And then also saying that if you do go for a free sail, we do need judges. If we don't have judges, we can't run the competition. I've got no dedicated judges, so we do need you guys to help out. So it's not you're going to be sitting there judging all day. We're going to try and rotate it around and make sure everyone has a fair go at it.
So the moment at this stage, our expectation is all of you must judge at least 5 heats or semis or finals. Yeah, so 5. So and when you do go on the software, make sure your name's there so we can actually look at it later and go, okay, this person's still got to do another 3 or whatever. So just make sure your name's on there, just so we can spread the load. And it just means that everyone does a little bit rather than 1 or 2 doing heaps of judging, which is an easy way to do it.
Yeah. Be ready for your heat. We'll be flowing through. I don't want to sort of get bogged down in it because we do have 7 hours to complete the whole first draw. So that's across all divisions. So in the judging, it's going to be 2 waves, and the jump side of it, depending on the conditions, it'll be either 1, 2, or if it's not jumpable, it'll be just the 2 waves. With the waves, we're looking for sailing in the critical section, the vertical smacks, air off the lip, length of ride, and in the jumps, we're looking for different rotations, height, and variation too for the jumps.
So you're going to score more if you do a straight jump and a forward rather than say just doing 2 forwards or a back forward.
Rotation.
So having different rotating jumps would score you higher.
Yeah. At the start, I'll set a baseline for jumps and waves, so judges will have an idea to work off from that first jump or wave. So it's a score out of 10 for each wave or jump. You can go higher if you see something epic. That's just a...
So if Logan does like a double forward, like score double forward, then that will be 11 maybe, yeah?
Yeah.
No pressure, Logan.
Just saying.
So, yeah. Just trying to find out the rules. Sorry?
Yeah,
Well,
push it forward, that's score high.
Yeah. So you can go over that, but that's only exceptional if there's something that comes out of it. So, lost it.
Yeah. Fin grab.
It's gone. With we just have those rules.
Yeah, those online. So
Oh, I see. Yeah. I'll just grab that up. I'll find that. All right, I'll just go something. So for those that didn't see what was on our website, I'll go through that again. With the wave scoring, commitment and degree of difficulty, speed, power and flow, combination of major manoeuvres, variety of manoeuvres, innovation and progressive manoeuvres. That's just on top of that. And I've probably covered all this with the jumping: height, difficulty, execution style, clean landing, creativity. Some reward for pushing new and difficult moves, but a clean landing takes priority. So you'll still get scored for having a go at something, but you won't score as much as if it was a dry landing. Judging scale, you'll have 0 to 1.9 will be a poor score, 2 to 3.9 fair, 4 to 5.9 average, 6 to 7.9 good, and 8 to 10 excellent, with that option of going over it further if you decide that was exceptional. Scoring judges. With the judges, so there's going to be 4-man heats. So we're looking at 3 judges.
Yep.
For that heat. It is going to be difficult, so we're going to try and have spotters. Myself will be watching too. So we just got to make sure you keep an eye out. Spotters are going to be very important.
I'll just chip in with a couple of extra things. Look ahead, on the whiteboard there'll be the order of play. So just make sure that you've got your rashies ready to go. I think you're still planning on a 1-minute turnaround, is that right?
If we can.
Yep, so 1-minute turnaround, 1 heat, straight, 1-minute break, next straight out there. So we really want to crack through, because as you heard, we got 7 hours of heats across all divisions, so we really want to make the most of the time.
Just with the wave priority, the rider with priority is the one who is first to be propelled by the power of the wave. Other riders in the heat can go for and catch the same wave, but only if they do not hinder the scoring potential of the rider with the priority. And a rider loses priority once they go for but miss or pull out of the wave. With the interference, a rider who hinders the scoring potential of another rider with priority over them will be given an interference penalty. In most situations, this means that their total heat score will be calculated using only their best scoring wave, one wave score and not 2.
So some quite key differences for those who are New South Wales wave sailors. There's some quite key differences in their scoring. Yeah?
If the rider causes 2 interferences during a heat, they'll be disqualified from the heat. You've gone through the code of conduct.
I think that's it, I think, Dina.
Yeah.
Is that all right?
Hit restart. Okay, here you are. If no one catches a wave during the first 10 minutes of a heat, or 50% of the riders are water starting for 3+ minutes, then the head judge has the discretion to abandon and restart the heat. So I don't know if we're going to have too much trouble with the wind today. So, the waves is the other. The forecast says it was to increase. Nor'east swell, as the locals know here, it's very. It doesn't really get into this track 3 here. Hence why we're going to go down to track 4 or 5, between 4 and 5. Is it?
Yep.
George, 4 and 5.
Yep.
So we'll set up there and then we'll see how that goes. As I said, 11 o'clock we'll have another briefing. At this stage we're trying to prioritise the men's open, to try and get them through first. So we'll go through one round with that, then we'll move on to the Masters, and then there'll be you'll have the amateurs and the juniors and the ladies. Most time in that will be when we have to fill in a heat, where we need a break between some of the heats, where riders will need a 15-minute break. And I think that's about it at the moment. Yep. So yeah, at 11 o'clock we'll meet down track 4 and we'll move.
Can I just interrupt? Sorry,
yep.
I'm not trying to change it, Jase.
Yep.
Just the fact.
Track 4 is about 20 metres down there. You mean track 5 or track 6?
Track 4 or 5. We'll go for 5 then.
5 is the wide.
Yes.
The surf school one is the best one.
It's about another 300-400 metres down that
Yep.
is well where Dino and
Yep.
George are saying we go.
Yep.
Yep.
No,
And
that's good.
but
Thanks,
into the beach from here and just sail down to there.
Yeah.
So we'll mark the area, okay? Just a quick couple of other things is that we got a barbecue, not a barbecue, sorry, we got a spaghetti bolognese, both vegetarian and non-vegetarian planned for tonight. It's at the team house, which is 51 Burke. For those who are familiar, it's the one with like the little turret on the top of it. Cracking spot, beautiful view over the water. Last night we were looking at enjoying our drinks, watching the sunset across the river and the ocean there. So it's a stunning spot. We don't know what time that will be. We think we're going to have a big day on the water. For those who weren't here yesterday, today's forecast for wind is stronger than yesterday, and I was overpowered on a 5-3 on occasions yesterday. So we think it's really going to be a cracking day. And just talking to what Dino had said, their expectations is that we'll be competing down the beach a little bit, but then hopefully doing the semis and the finals up on the bombing. Yeah. And if we do that, we need help from those who are knocked out already, just to get up there and do the judging at the top. We're going to be taking the flags up there and seats and all that kind of stuff. So we need people to really help do that. And as I said before, please make sure you've at least scored 5 events through the day. Last but not least, are there any questions from anyone? Any questions at all? Fire it at us. Yep.
With the 11 o'clock, do you want us like ready at 11?
I'd like to just, if you can, look, it's not that far away.
Yep.
But try and be,
rigged up?
yeah, if you can.
You got the picture already somewhere?
Yeah, I'm just got to see, I've got to get it and write it up on the, yeah. I'd say, it's,
Just so they can get
yeah,
ready.
yeah.
From up here, just look for the teepees. There's some driftwood that's been built in a teepee. So the first teepee I think is about track 4 or 5, and the other teepees are further down towards track 7. So that's probably sail to the first one, and then you won't end up too far downwind.
The 11 o'clock briefing will be precise about where the competition area is, okay? Yep,
So
Adam, question?
With the priority on waves,
Yep.
so you say if you're first on the wave, right?
Yep.
Say, because the waves are smaller today, right?
Yep.
Is it if someone like say, like give or take, it's hard to tell if you were on the wave before them or they were on the wave before you. What's the rule of thumb before that?
Yeah. So we as judges need to be watching to see who is the first on the wave.
Yeah.
If 2 of you get on the wave at the same time, whoever is upwind has right of way.
Okay. If it's like you don't really know because you're
Yeah.
upwinded.
But we as judges will
Just
be looking
try
at
to be aware, and I know the waves are small, but we're trying to avoid
So what you're saying, if someone's way up the back, get some of that swell, which is not very apparent at the moment, but when there is swell, you're on that first swell, that's your wave.
Yeah.
Cool. So the Maui rule.
Yeah.
Furthest out, that's
Nalu
the wave.
rule.
So if you're out whale
Maui
watching,
was
you pick
before
up a bit of
Nalu.
swell, you come all the way on that bit of swell, that's your wave, yeah?
In that first heat, it is on, I think, did we send that out, the heats? It was as a link.
No,
So-
I said the heat so yeah.
Yeah. It'll be on the board, but there'll be George, Tim, Woz and Quinn in that first heat. So try and get down there as soon as you can and get it set up. I'll get the marker written off. Sorry?
How long?
We're going for 15 or 13.
Unless you change it?
Yeah.
What do you want?
At the moment it'll be 15. If the wind gets up and I notice that everyone's getting their 2 waves and if there's jumps in within 5 or 10 minutes, we may bring that back to 13. So that could drop. But you'll all know if the heats are being shortened.
I remember you got 2 waves counted, maybe 1 jump, maybe 2 jumps, depending on what.
But we'll
the
call that
judges
before you go out in your heat, and everyone will know if you're going to be doing 1, 2 jumps or no jumps if it's
Any more questions?
So 15 minutes plus 1 minute of transition.
That's
yes,
right.
yeah.
So every 16 minutes you start.
Yes, yes.
All right, guys.
We'll have that board up so you know when you're heating. We'll have a list of in order how it's going to run. But for those who in that first heat, we're going to try and run round 1, heats 1, 2, and 3 in the men's. So we need the masters to do some judging in that time, and then they'll swap over, and the masters will go out, and we need the opens to do some judging for us, please. If we don't have the judges, I can't run the comp, so unfortunately. But yeah, so I won't talk anymore. If we can get down there, and we'll have another briefing at 11 a.m.
So 11 o'clock briefing at the tent, guys. Get rigged up and ready to go, because if we can, we're going to start straight away. Yeah, and if anyone can help us take the tent, if anyone's already rigged, please help us out.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to drive on the beach?
Parked in a shit spot.
No.
We're going to take the tent down there.
All right.
Are you parked near that spot?
No, I will be.
I think everyone's moving.
Huh?
So
We're going to have to give tent and
are we gonna drive that?
I don't know, you can sell it. We've got
Yeah,
Are you gonna drive that
I probably won't.
Right, where?
to the other car park?
Oh, okay. Carry some stuff. I reckon you're better off going out here and just saving that.
Yeah.
How far is to walk here? Because with gear and stuff and
But I'll
camera,
go down. Sorry, what was your question?
how far is from here to
300 meters.
300 meters?
It was, I just said Oliver wanted to go into the opens too, but we didn't have any warning there, and I've done the draw on that already. So
Did you do that? Did you say that on the intro?
I've got to go, sorry, sweetie.
there is a spot there.
Okay, well, if you've got a spot you can do it. I know how much you spent hours doing that last night, so
Yeah.
your head
It's,
your
it's not,
call.
it's not going to affect anything. We'll just have to slip your name in there. And that's your call.
You stuck it on the car.
So that brings it, you will be... Joe, so what's the challenge? I just know. But it's disrespectful, mate. It's disrespectful. To be known.
It's like I go down there, I made it back to the Berry Beach car park, and I rang Matt to come and pick me up. And he brought me back to here where my car was parked.
Yeah.
And I drove
And
home,
you drove home.
drove
Yeah,
to the
wow.
hospital.
Yeah.
It's like, you should be driving. Like,
Yeah.
I can.
Yeah. Yeah, that's nuts, eh?
Yeah.
How you going?
Good. You?
Yeah, good, thanks.
How are you?
Good.
What happened?
Snap the Achilles.
I'm going to drive down the beach.
No fun.
Yeah,
You're gonna drive the other car park?
I'm going to go down, yeah. I think
Yeah,
I'm gonna
out
be
for the
fair way
season.
down, to be honest.
6 months, 12 months. Something like that.
No fun.